and welcome to our panel discussion, Ditching Disposables, Eliminating Harmful Chemicals in Foodware for Healthier Kids and Planet on this Children's Environmental Health Day. I'm Sue Chang, the Pollution Prevention Director at the Center for Environmental Health, also known as CEH. Over the years, CEH has helped schools across the country transition away from harmful single-use foodware to healthier alternatives. Many people do not know that a lot of the single-use foodware used in schools across the US contains toxic chemicals harmful to children's health. For example, expanded polystyrene trays, often referred to as styrofoam, contain cancer-causing chemicals, and some molded fiber trays contain PFAS, which have been nicknamed forever chemicals and are known hormone disruptors. These are just two examples of toxic chemicals that might be found in your lunchroom. As you'll hear from our panelists today, we're spotlighting Berkeley, California, and the great strides they're making to eliminate foodware with toxic chemicals and institute reusables to protect the health of their students. I'm thrilled to introduce the panelists with me today. Bonnie Christiensen is the Director of Nutrition Services at Berkley Unified School District, or BUSD. And then we have two students joining us. Mabel is in 7th grade at King Middle School, and Shanza is in 10th grade at Berkeley High. Mabel and Shanza are both part of the student group Heirs to Our Oceans. It's a youth empowerment group, and we're both former students of Jacqueline Omania, a teacher at Oxford Elementary School, who has a zero waste classroom in Berkeley, California. To kick us off, I'd like to ask Mabel, when did you first learn about the issues of toxic chemicals and waste created by single-use foodware?
I first learned about single-use disposable waste and its toxic chemicals when I was in 3rd grade in Miss Omania's zero waste classroom. That year, we spent a lot of time studying plastic and the effect that it has on the environment and ourselves. Each year, about 8 million tons of plastic is dumped into the ocean. Learning this in 3rd grade had a big impact on me. I wanted to do something. So along with my classmates and my teacher, I went to the Berkeley City Council and urged them to make a change. As of 2021, any restaurant in Berkeley that supplies its customers with plastic disposables must charge for them. Then we noticed something else. Every day at school, we were being given plastic forks, plastic cups, plastic spoons. This is a really big problem because not only is our school district adding trash to the world that will never go away, but it is exposing us to harmful chemicals like BPA. BPA can be detrimental to our health, disrupting the endocrine system and causing various diseases. As students sometimes rely on the school district for food, I feel that the district should be supplying students with more sustainable and safe materials. I want reusables. Today, 93% of all Americans have BPA in their bodies. This means that harmful chemicals that are used to produce this harmful material is inside of most of the people watching this video. Single-use disposable plastic foodware not only pollutes the environment, but is also dangerous for kids. Supplying your child with reusables or urging their school district to will help keep your child healthy and happy. Reusable materials are the best way to limit plastic disposables and to limit the BPA in your child's body. With the right words and actions, my friends and I changed a law in Berkeley. With more people pressuring schools and companies, we can make our lives safer.
Thank you, Mabel. It's incredible to see youth driving the change toward a healthier and more sustainable world. Shanza, you're now in high school. What changes have you seen in Berkeley and in your school since attending Oxford Elementary School?
To begin with, I first started learning about our environment and the problems that it faces in Miss Omania's 3rd grade class. And this really inspired me, and it made me decide to research all about the oceans for my informative essay assignment in the class. And as I learned more about the oceans, I wanted to protect it and our environment, and that is how I got to be involved. And so over the years, as a 10th grader, I've been in the Berkeley Unified School District system for over 11 years. In kindergarten, I saw plastic, and in 10th grade, I still see plastic. which is what Mabel talked about. And so I really want to focus on what most other people think of as a solution to our disposable plastics problem, compostables. Compostables are very resource heavy, from the millions of trees that we cut down to the water and fossil fuels factories use to make compostables. And then, contrary to their name, they don't even compost properly and are usually thrown in with the landfill, where the plastic goes. In addition, as Mabel touched on, given that the paper is not waterproof, compostable foodware is coated in PFAS, which, similar to BPA, is very harmful and can cause cancer and other harmful diseases, not only in children, but in adults as well. And so because our foodware is coated in this, many children are ingesting these harmful chemicals on a daily basis. And if you zoom out a little more on the issue, it also has a very social impact, because we know that communities of color and people with lower economic stability are the ones who usually get school lunch more. And these communities are facing bigger impacts as a result of having to eat in these types of containers. And this is why I think it's so important that BUSD has finally decided to begin switching to reusables. I think our reusable initiative is not only helping solve plastic pollution and the host of environmental issues that come with it, but we are raising a whole new generation of responsible individuals who will care for our planet and themselves in the best way. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shanza. I really appreciate your comments about, compostables not being necessarily the best solution, and how reusables are really the better longer term answer. And the fact that Berkley Unified is able to make this transition now, and I know schools are going through a lot with COVID right now, but we're excited to hear from Bonnie. So I'd like to turn it over to you. What has been your experience as Director of Nutrition at BUSD?
Our program was mandated to sustainably produce healthy, nutritious meals from scratch using locally sourced seasonal ingredients, free of harmful chemicals, additives, food dyes, and preservatives for food justice and equity. We can't really talk about doing that if we are going to ignore the very issues that Mabel and Shanza have discussed. So I'm really grateful to have had them really explain all of that to us first. Our program, while it does a very good job of producing our meals sustainably, because we are producing them ourselves, we've eliminated the packaging, the freezing, the warehousing, and the shipping, which is an enormous carbon footprint that would result in having a third party do that for us. We also control the distribution of our products, and we do that in stainless steel containers, reusable stainless steel lids, and that sort of thing. Well, that is a great deal, that goes a long distance for sustainability. There's still more that we can do. It is important to note that I'd like to note here that our program was meant to serve all of our students and not just the students who are on the free program. We are trying to produce foods that everyone likes, that is healthy for all of our students. And the greater the participation rate in our food program, actually the more sustainable our food program is. It does eliminate a lot of the food packaging and the types of foods that have additives in them that students might otherwise bring to school when they bring their meals to school. Also, those students frequently will just take that entire meal because they'd rather go out and play and then just dump it in a bin without going through the processes of recycling, which was also noted here by our students. Originally, King Middle School did have serviceware, reusable serviceware, and we had to stop using it because there just wasn't enough time and staff to actually clean those dishes. Berkley Unified and school districts all over the country really struggle with staffing shortages. But in the meantime, we've learned quite a bit, all of which was touched on by our students. The melamine dishes that we were using at King, in fact, do give off harmful chemicals. They are not safe to use if heated. The paper plates that we use, while they're advertised as being safe, in fact, when tested in a lab, are not safe. They have chemicals. And the plastic flatware, when advertised that is recyclable, in fact, most recycling agencies don't recycle that plasticware. So really the only option is to go to reusable serviceware, and that is ultimately our goal. We are stuck because of COVID, and there is a process that we must undertake in order to get to that spot. But in the meantime, we have purchased a new dish machine at our central kitchen that has a higher capacity. It uses less water, it uses less chemicals, it's energy efficient. The machine will be able to wash all of the districts if we choose to use have all of the reusables cleaned at one location. And in fact, we save 2 gallons of water per load with this dishwasher. So we don't want to fall into the trap where we trade one bad habit for another. Also, all of our new kitchen renovations will incorporate dishwashers at the sites. Last year, we had 2 elementary schools renovated, and both of those sites have dishwashers. All of our middle schools have dishwashers. The district put flow water machines that filters water for our students and for all of our faculty and staff. These flow water machines can be used to fill up our water bottles. For students who don't have water bottles, the district has purchased water bottles for our students. And the Berkley Ecology Center is also giving water bottles out to every 9th grade class yearly. That will eliminate a huge amount of cups from district waste. Currently, with the approval of the school board and the Berkeley administration, we will be piloting 3 schools to have reusables as soon as we get past this COVID crisis and we can go back to having students eat in the cafeteria. We'll be bringing reusables at 3 of our schools, and that will give us an opportunity to iron out the kinks and figure out how we're going to make this happen in the best, most effective way possible, given the challenges we face. And in the meantime, we're going to continue to eliminate plastic to this extent possible. And while staffing is always a challenge, I, as a parent, as a family, as a community member, as an employee at Berkeley, I think it's impossible for us to ignore the reality, which is that if we don't do something now, ourselves, our students, our subsequent generations are really going to suffer. And it behooves us all to really do the hard work and make it happen. If our children are leading change, I mean, we have to follow. We have to follow. So thank you to the students really for the work that you've done and for bringing it to our attention and giving us an opportunity to make a difference.
Thank you, Bonnie, Shanza, and Mabel for this fantastic discussion. I'm really excited to see the changes that will happen at Berkley Unified once the students are back in the cafeterias and eating in person. And thank you to the Children's Environmental Health Network for hosting this incredible day of action, and to all of you for watching. You can learn more about how your school can avoid toxic single-use products and make the switch to safer reusables by downloading our free Ditching Disposables toolkit at ceh.org/K12, the number 1212 toolkit. Thank you very much.